Okay, because I had a chance to speak with Speaker Johnson about the spread of democratic socialism in America and the midterms. Here's a little bit of that conversation here. Mr. Speaker, Kyle Lowder from Newsmax.
Yeah, good to see you,
welcome
brother.
to New York. Thank you much for being here. I know you just touched upon this. I want to get your thoughts on the rise of socialism, communism across the country, the threat that that poses to our country, and ultimately what that could mean for Republicans come this November in the midterms.
Yeah, let me share a few thoughts on that. The question was, you want me to start it off or you want to start it off? Let me start off. So we're grateful to be here in New York's 3rd District. This is a critical race, a critical county for the math all across the country. We're absolutely convinced that we're going to grow the House majority in November, 75 days from today. Part of the reason for that is we have extraordinary candidates like this. Mike LaPetri has served in the Assembly so faithfully. The people here know him. They trust him. He is for common sense. He's for individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength. He's proven himself to the people. He stands with law enforcement. He's for lower taxes, lower regulation, and it's not just rhetoric, it's a record. And we put this record up against the incumbent any day. He's going to win this seat. And we're excited about this. And I've mentioned in my comments before, this is a contrast election. We had been saying for months it's a contrast between common sense and crazy. But now we know it's actually a contest between common sense and communism, and that is exactly what we're facing. The rise of socialism and Marxism and communism is a serious threat to America, and it's happening all across the country. For months I've been out on the campaign trail because the speaker travels every state, and I've been telling people, you need to pay attention to this. It's an alarm. There are many Mamdanis popping up all around the country, and when I was saying that for a long time, Mike, people said, oh, that's a New York City thing. It is very much a thing all around the country, and we are watching now that the energy, the excitement, the grassroots is on the side of the insurgent left. This is not our father's Democrat Party anymore. If you once had a home in the Democrat Party, like so many people did in my state of Louisiana when I was growing up, that party doesn't exist anymore. They put out their platform. The Democrat Socialists of America is the banner they're flying. They want to abolish the border. They want to abolish prisons in America. They want to abolish the U.S. Senate, rip the Constitution in half, remove the president, defund the Department of War. It's crazy. It actually is crazy, and it's dangerous. We're not going to do that. So in this election, we have to stand strong for America's principles. We are celebrating here in this all-American diner, the greatest nation in the history of the world, 250 years. We are the most free, most successful, most powerful, most benevolent nation that has ever been, and we refuse to give that up to a bunch of Marxists and communists who have a different design for America. That's what this fight is for, and I'm so grateful we have warriors like this who are going to join us in this fight to keep this going and hold this republic. That's what's at stake right now.
Mr. Speaker, you said that this is a turnout election. What would you say to people who say that Trump, quote unquote, isn't on the ballot?
Well, he's going to tell you himself. We're going to have the first ever midterm convention for any party ever. On September 9th and 10th, we'll all convene in Dallas. We will be on all the national shows, 2 nights of earned media to talk about our great record of achievement, our great stars in the party, and the president. At the crescendo of that whole event will look right into the camera and say, I am on the ballot, because effectively he is. His name is not. But the America First agenda, the principles of common sense, all the priorities that we have made to the people are on the ballot, and the president needs everybody to know that. We're going to turn our base out because they understand the stakes are so high. This is a midterm unlike any other, and that's exactly why we're going to win.
So we're back with Newsmax host Bill Spadea. What do you think of the speaker's comments there, Bill?
Well, first of all, his theme of common sense, really smart. He keeps talking about that. The American people are looking for something different. It's not about partisan talking points. It's not, far right, far left. It's common sense. What's going to help bring our costs down and make us our streets safer? That said, he is spot on right about the dangers of communism and socialism. This is real stuff. We have watched nations collapse under the weight of socialist policies and communism. Look at communist China. Look at the collapse in Venezuela. Look at what happens when people are offered free stuff, and then the strong men rise, and pretty soon you've got a violent, dangerous, awful situation, and you end up voting yourself into poverty. So. Well, here's the challenge, though, that his point is a macro point, that socialism and communism are bad. But you've got a dumbed-down generation. I don't mean that as an insult or a slight, but our education system is failing our children. We don't teach proper history. We don't talk about the dangers of communism. We almost apologize for it, and it's nearly celebrated. Oh, it's good on paper. It's this. No, it's very evil and anti-human. And the challenge is people don't vote for big concepts. They vote for what's in front of them. And right now, gas is too high, food is too high, insurance is too high, energy is too high. All of these things are impacting them, and the Republicans are failing to get behind it. Just like the Democrats can't win on solely Trump is bad, because we're going to be in a couple of years in a post-Trump America and Republican Party. The Republicans can't run on communism is bad. They have to run on here's our plan. You know, we were talking earlier at the King's table. Thank you for the big honor.
Yes, of course.
Appreciate that. Thank you. We were talking about how, talking about the tariffs, and the tariffs from the Trump administration are being used as a weapon. The problem is Joe the plumber has to go and pay a higher price now for something that last week he paid a lower price for. So that is a problem. If you don't offset it with some kind of tax cut, tax advantage, where do you go? You've got nothing but angry voters out there.
Yeah, it seems like the Republicans are thinking more long-term. The Democrats are short-term because I think they just want the turnout, and they want to, as we've been talking about, to your point, maybe impeach Trump, and also Trump's not on the ballot. How will that end up?
That's why I asked him the question.
It's a great question.
Because a lot of people are saying, well, Trump's not on the ballot. And I just said, Speaker Johnson, what do you say to those people? And he said, he is absolutely, his name might not be there, but...
Well, right, because if the Democrats take control of the House, if they take control of the Senate, we're absolutely looking at the potential of another round of impeachments. And then what happens? It drags the country into a political battle over that. Democrat voters aren't voting for that either. Independent voters, Democrat voters, normal people out there are not radicalized on the fringe. They just want a better life for them and their kids. And right now, these socialists are hitting the talking points.
Yeah, they are. They're nailing it. So, Bill Spitty, of course, thank you. We're going to see you back here. I don't know if we're going to have you for trivia. I want you for...